Hello, Cancer, and welcome to your April 2021 tarot reading. My name is Candice Marie with Beyond the Veil Tarot and Astrology. I will be covering health, love, finances, and career in this reading, followed by a cross spread, which will be an in-depth look at your month ahead. These predictions may or may not resonate with you. Please listen to your sun, rising, and moon spread to get an idea of what April has in store for you. If you resonate with this reading and you like it, please be sure to like and comment. I appreciate your support. By subscribing to the latest on my tarot and astrology channel, you can get updates and see when these videos come out live. If you like my style and you want to connect with me for a more in-depth personal astrological or tarot reading, then head over to my website where you can book a reading with me now at beyondtheveiltarot.com. You can also find me on other social media platforms. Cancer, let's get right into it and let's see what the cards have in store for you when it comes to your health this month. Ooh, 2 cards. Here we go. So here we have the King of Swords, or known as the King of Crystals, the Hanged Man, and then we also have the 10 of Swords. Couple things when it comes to health. One thing I would say is for the King of Swords to be coming up, it does talk about mental stuff. It's less emotional. It's more how you're communicating, how you're thinking, how you're breathing, things that deal with stress, and just being able to better handle, I think, all of the energy that's going on for the month ahead for you. We have a lot of energy in Gemini, and it does put a lot of pressure on communicating, coming up with answers, writing, text messages, going back and forth. And this energy is a little hidden from you this month. And so it can bring about issues with sleep or just mental stress. The Hangman does manifest very similar in the same way, where it's about knowing when to jump in and get involved and say something, and knowing when to take a step back. It's also reminding you that you need more rest and meditation and recuperation more this month than usual. I will also say that there can be a sense sometimes when this card comes up of self-sabotaging or not taking care of certain situations, or waiting too long before we dealing with health situations. So it's really paying attention to any issues you may have where you're ignoring things that are going on that are actually contributing to your anxiety. And then finally, we have the 10 of Crystals, or this would be known as the 10 of Swords. Anxiety, but times 10. This is a card that deals with endings. This is a card that in this deck considers it to deal with delusion. And whether or not you saw a situation coming or not, once again, this does give you the insight that whether it's through your intuition or just paying better attention to how you're thinking and how you're communicating, you already see that there are some things going on with your health, and maybe these are more so manifesting on a psychological level. They are preventable, and it's important not to ignore some of these situations and really just call a spade and be like, you know what, I gotta tackle this head on, rather than being delusional and thinking that things are just going to go away, because things are not going to magically go away with planets that are moving in and out and around your 12th house. Pay attention for that, Cancer. You're very, very empathic, and sometimes your intuition can really kind of peak up, and when things are coming. So it's about being proactive this month. Let's move on to love and see what the cards have in store for you for your love life. Okay, I like that one. Ace of Swords, the Sun, and the Queen of Coins. Notice all of these are reversed. Just want to make note of that. Some readers read reversal, some don't. I do. There's no way to cut it. The Ace of Swords, especially whether it comes up reversed or not, But really, when it comes up reversed for me, that's like sometimes the true death and ending card. Sometimes this can be the card that pops up where if something is just due for an overhaul or it's done, you really need to end it sometimes when this card comes up. Granted, it's not a swift ending. It's more communication and working through something mentally before expressing that maybe you're finished or that it's done. When it comes up reversed, it's also saying that there may be a challenge in communicating and getting these ideas out and being able to talk about how you feel or being able to shine a light on how you're really feeling or what you're thinking. Now, the other thing that kind of comes to mind with the sun reversed is that there are some situations that have not come to light yet. You may be harboring thoughts or feelings about feeling as if something is going to end and not really communicating and expressing to somebody what you've been dealing with in your own personal realm and where you have not been putting enough emphasis and focus in really, I think, telling people what's going on behind the scenes, right? Because there's this side of you that's like very present and bubbly and emotional. And then there's this side of you with the sun reverse that's not really in alignment with your true happiness or your true calling, or you're not really telling somebody how you really feel and whether or not you're feeling completely fulfilled in a union. That coming up with the Queen of Coins, that can be you dealing with an earth sign. That can be you dealing with whether it's a man or a woman. It can be a Taurus or a Virgo or a Capricorn. It can also be that if you've got a partner, you're feeling kind of like, you know, you really want to focus on getting grounded, feeling secure, feeling stable. And there can be some conflicts that have come up as a result of finances, or perhaps not being totally fulfilled in a relationship financially and having some concerns over stability and not knowing how to voice those concerns and communicate that to a partner. This can also be talking about wanting to get to a point where you're focusing less on the physical tangibility in a relationship and more so the intellectual connection and the emotional connection, and really shining a light on the fact that money can't quite buy everything. That if what you're really looking for is long-term joy and happiness and a connection in a mind space, sometimes we have to move away from the physical. Let's look at your money, Cancer, and see what money looks like for the month ahead. I feel like there's a lot of abundance coming for Cancer in the weeks and months ahead, actually. Lots of projects and things that are going to come full circle. I'm loving that new moon in your career sector this month. I think it's really positive and actually quite potent for being able to set some new personal goals. And the 5th house can also be really good for that full moon, for not just bringing in conclusions for projects and matters of the heart, but really expressing yourself. Wow. Okay. All right. Jumping cards. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. The Devil, Temperance, and the 10 of Swords. Is this not the second time this has come up for you, Cancer? Are there certain situations that you just gotta let go? Don't ignore this. Don't worry about endings. The Devil card coming up for money can be talking about, you know, whether or not you are bound by material goods, whether or not you're feeling bound by a situation or stuck in a situation, you know, whether this is a pattern of feeling like, okay, no matter what I do, I'm never really overcoming this, or I'm going to have a hard time leaving this job or leaving this partnership because I need that financial security. The Devil reminds you that there can be lots of strings attached and things that are going on that can be bad habits, especially when it comes to spending money. You know, you don't need me to tell you this. You have Saturn and Jupiter currently going through your joint partnership part of your astrology. And it can be about tackling debt. It can be about getting on top of a budget. It can be about cracking down on bad spending habits. So it's really saying to you, when it comes to your money, where is there more of a need to commit to finding balance and finding that situations can be solved through, I think, the commitment to being a little bit more responsible with spending, or a little bit more responsible when it comes to also navigating your career and aligning with something that's going to give you what you need, right? So that coming up with the Temperance card is saying that things are getting healed right now. Things are getting balanced, that there is a bit of sweet with the salty, and really an opportunity to kind of see where you can readjust the scales and put more emphasis and give yourself a little bit of a break in being able to find the middle ground, right? Especially with financial matters. Then we have the Ten of Swords coming up. It is reversed. So obviously this is a difficult card to get because it does deal with anxiety revolving around situations or endings of situations or painful situations with the Ten of Swords. But reverse, it's falling away, right? These issues, these worries, these fears are falling away. Like I see this as what you're committing to may very well start shifting into, new levels of abundance, especially when we see some planets shift into water signs, so like Mars when it goes into your sign pretty soon, and we start getting planets moving into Cancer later over the summer, that we can actually see this kind of balance out a little bit better. But you must be willing to walk away from old patterns and habits financially that don't serve you. You can do it. I know you can do it. It's kind of hard, being a water sign, and sometimes we like to emotionally get invested in our spending, and we'll splurge, whether it's something nice or buying ourselves some snacks. All right, so let's see what the cards have to say about your career this month. Certainly they referenced it a little bit already. Ten of Swords. Goodness, Cancer. What am I doing? Should be 3 cards. Hello. 1, 2, 3. I'm already getting ahead of myself. I can't believe that this keeps coming up. Even somebody like myself, I have a lot of Cancer in my chart, so I'm message received loud and clear. 10 of Swords, 5 of Cups, 8 of Pentacles. So career, endings, transition, transformation, letting something go. If a project didn't work, if a job application was not accepted, if you didn't get the gig, if you didn't get chosen, if something didn't work when you launched it, let it go. There is way, 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 way too much harboring going on this month that I think, it's just, you're in a process of focusing on the new and not putting too much emphasis on the past. 5 of Cups coming up is reminding you not to cry over spilled milk. Pay attention to what you have in front of you, not necessarily what you have lost. This is also a card that comes up when somebody is focusing too much on details or things that maybe don't necessarily matter. You're getting too emotionally involved in something that didn't pan out. And then we have the 8 of Pentacles coming up. So this is basically talking about putting emphasis on like getting back on the horse, getting back into the swing of things, knowing that you're really great and quite talented at whatever it is that you're doing in terms of your work or your career, and just getting back in there and not letting yourself totally get emotionally dismantled with all of the endings and the transitions, because without this, how would you be able to really focus on what you are good at, or really start to put emphasis on where you're going to make something better and you're going to almost make lemonade coming out of these situations? I love that the 8 of Pentacles does talk about financial abundance. I love that it also talks about you being really good and worth what you're getting paid. So if this is about moving on from a job or moving on from a position and being bummed out because you didn't, qualify, or they weren't willing to pay you, keep your chin up, keep working hard. It is going to pay off, especially in about 4 weeks to 4 months' time. Now, this is the part of the reading where we get into the general cross spread. You can go ahead and sit there and just vibe out, get comfortable, close your eyes, and focus on your breath and breathing through your nose and your mouth deeply. In through the mouth and out through the nose. Because after all, tarot is a meditative process. So let's take a look and see what's going to happen in April and how I can shine a little bit more insight on your question. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. So the first card that comes up, this always is the card that crowns you. Okay, so this is the 6 of Wands. The card of victory, being victorious in a situation, seeing something through, something being well received. That can be, a job going through, a project going through, a trip that you're planning. This can just be talking about moving into something over the next couple of weeks that's really going to be quite successful. Now, that being crossed here with obstacles as the Nine of Swords is saying really the obstacle is more mental. It's more fear, worry, anxiety. Don't let that get so to the point where you never even get moving. That can't be something that can I think really kind of stop you and slow you down, or even keep you from being able to move forward and being successful, right? Focusing on your sleep patterns and how you're sleeping and resting and taking time to rest and recover and heal, and not letting worst case scenario bug get in your ear. The third card that comes up, this is what crowns you, and this is the Three of Pentacles. So what this deals with, once again, is honing in on your craft, but really perfecting something, working hard and being able to see something not just through, but finding ways to make it better, right? So if this is like, if you're already good when it comes to your finances, then honing in a little bit more on getting better organized or better planning. This can be also a card that talks about and discusses adding some new tools to your toolbox, especially when it comes to your professional life, as a means to being able to make more money, but also just better educated and more capable and more able to show up and do well at something. So this is what is beneath you. So this is the Knight of Pentacles. So it is saying experience, patience, the fact that you have already planted seeds and some things are already in motion. This can also be like having a little bit of a financial cushion. So not being totally stressed out about money, being in a situation where you're quite talented and you have a lot to offer and you've had some experience. So moving forward, you're healthy, you're stable, you're secure, but you're cautious, right? And that is important, especially at the bottom of the spread, because it's actually saying that, being cautious is actually going to serve you well and not get you into a troubled situation. For what's behind you is the Magician. Love this card in this position. I see that as the intention has already been set. The seed has been planted. You have already manifested, asked for, ritualized, meditated on, bringing all of these elements together to create something new. Magic is happening. Maybe this means that perhaps in the past you came up with an idea and now you're actually finally putting it into motion. If your question relates more to relationships, I kind of see it as, listen, don't overthink things. Focus on the right now. Realize that you've got something good going on. It's going to take about 3 more months to completely evolve, but you're getting what you asked for, or certain elements, cosmically speaking, are coming together to really help deliver what you've manifested. What's before you? The Seven of Swords. So that can be kind of saying, when these two kind of come up together, I see them as possibly being shady characters. So if you've dealt with some stuff in the past where it looked like it was too good to be true, proceeding forward with caution to make sure that it is in fact real or a trustworthy situation, or that you can trust this person or trust this situation, is important. It's reminding you to take the higher road in situations. Do not allow yourself to slip into patterns of not being completely truthful or honest, or not telling the whole truth. And watch for situations where maybe perhaps your intuition is kind of peeking up a little bit and making you question whether or not you can trust somebody, because you're very intuitive. You know what it's like when something feels off. This can also be about something going missing or being taken, right? So then the next card that we have, this is you, and this is the Hermit card. I like this for you because it's very grounded, earthy, practical energy, turning inwards, focusing on really what you need, even if that means taking some time away from it all and, getting out of town for a weekend, or maybe just turning your phone off for a day or two and just really reflecting inwardly and asking yourself, is this what I want? Is this part of my journey? Is this going to be a good idea? And kind of keeping some of this stuff a little bit more private and really allowing yourself to sit with it and see how it feels. The influence is definitely the Page of Pentacles. So this can deal with financial stability. This can deal with whether or not something is going to be lucrative. This can deal with whether or not a health situation is going to turn out positively. Also, there can be the influence of a younger earth sign, whether this is a Capricorn or a Virgo, or this could also be a Taurus, coming in the mix, whether this is somebody who helps you with your health, or this ends up being a child who somehow plays into this situation, or just a younger person that might be a new acquaintance, especially if they're helping you with finances. Hopes and fears, Ace of Cups, hoping for the cup to runneth over, hoping for new love, new commitments, relationships, emotional fulfillment. Wonderful card to come up is hope and fear. I really see this as, am I moving forward into new patterns? You know, can I trust these new partnerships that I'm entering into? Can I trust these set of skills that I have been really focusing on working on? And then the final card is the Five of Swords reversed. Moving away from difficult conversations, learning how to objectively handle relationships and people, learning how to move into a period of time where you can communicate and share ideas without conflict and not being defensive. It's about remaining open and not seeking a fight or expecting a fight. In some ways, I look at this spread and kind of feel like you can kind of be your biggest enemy this month, and allowing maybe the old fears and the patterns of the past to come up that actually hinders you from moving forward, and expecting conflict when you really shouldn't. You want to be moving forward with an open heart and listening to your inner guidance and what ultimately may be the best for your health or for your financial situation. I hope you enjoyed this month's video. I love doing these for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. If this reading aligned with you, please like, comment, and subscribe. It would be wonderful to hear back from you guys and get a little bit of insight as to how it applied for you. Until next time, I will be back with next month's tarot videos. You take care, Cancer. See you soon.